toxic masculinity, and I've been told so many times after I fall down, just rub some dirt on it. It's no issue, you know. Or if I'm saying like I'm stressed out about this race, somebody will always be there to say like, toughen up. You're not here to do any of this. You're here to race. I'm like, okay, but this affects the racing. So, toxic masculinity, there's always going to be people where if you say like, man, I haven't been feeling great lately, there's always going to be people there to say, oh, you're not man enough then. Toughen up, man up.
In the past, when you look at management styles, it was about hitting people with sticks, metaphorically, telling them they're no good and they've got to try harder. That just doesn't work. Doesn't work. If it worked, then yeah, everybody, it just doesn't work. It's the fastest way to demotivate people.
That's a difficult one to answer, really. I think there's stuff being done slowly, which is being more accepted in today's world. But it is a hard integration to bring into our sport because it's just not something that is, say, the norm. Personally, for me, I like to see different things coming in.
I've been in these situations within teams or around teams and near teams, and I've seen, the response, especially from, without stereotyping anyone, it definitely increases the older generations get. Where you can't show weakness. Weakness is seen as, emotion is seen as weakness. You can't mention your mental health because it's seen as negative. You can't publicly say that, it's crazy to me that riders can talk so openly about the personal training they do and the physios and the exercise routines, but you can't say that you have a mental trainer because that's showing weakness. It's crazy. It's we're not just our bodies, we are our mind and our bodies. And the fact that one side of it is basically taboo to talk about in some camps is mad.
It's that whole, what it's like. It's like people are like, yeah, we can't show that we're weak sort of thing. It's that sort of mentality that's went back centuries, it's like, but now it's completely different. It's okay to show that, things aren't okay. That's the key with everything, across all walks of life, not just sport. I think that in MotoGP in particular, we see a lot of riders who do openly support, when they struggle, they let us know and we see an outpouring of, sort of support for them, and that's great. But it's still not too widely published, I would say. I'd say riders are still not really showing their full emotions because of what people might think of them. But yeah, I think, like you say, it's definitely it's a thing that's grown, so it has.
It is improving all the time in the sport and in the world in general, I think, with that not being the case. But certainly it is a sport that's a masculine sport where it's not necessarily easy to talk about things, and it's also not easy to talk about things, not necessarily because of that, but because you're the one that's living the dream. And to be honest, I do feel like I'm living the dream, but you still have your bad days like anyone does, and it's not easy to talk about because everybody just looks at you like, oh, it's easy for you. You don't have real pressures or real life situations because you just live in the dream. So it's that does make it difficult, but as I say, it's improving all the time, and it's becoming more of a thing where it's okay to talk about your mental health in racing and everything, So I think I hope it just keeps going that way and being better all the time to talk about things and improve in the industry.
It is improving. Slowly, but it is improving. So I think it's a time thing. I think, when the current generation of riders and drivers are moving through and then they become the coaches and the managers and the owners, we'll see that it will get better when some of the sort of old world toxic masculinity of you're no good, you are, do better. Once that goes out, I think we'll see a healthier change. But it's definitely going in the right direction, but it's still there.
you can't be okay all of the time, and some people will be less okay, not okay more of the time. And that's, at the end of the day, largely, well, some of it is circumstance, but a lot of it comes down to biology and brain chemistry as well. And that's why we need to keep telling people that it's okay not to be okay, because we need to break this weird stigma that, having something in your head that's not working the way it should is no different from having something in your leg that's not working the way it should.
You don't always have to be 100% your best, and you won't always be 100% your best. Everybody has off days. And for those days that you're not okay, there will probably be some people to say, like, man, why can't you just be okay today? Like they'll have something to say about it when it's just okay to not be okay sometimes. You don't.
No, support it completely. And I think it's, like I say again today, it's to do with today's society where things are more accepted. So, for example, this year I supported Andy's Man Club, who are like a men's mental health charity. So I was running their stuff on the bike, and I'd bring them along to rounds and stuff. And their motto is, it's okay not to be okay. And it doesn't just go for men. It also, like I said, there is a few females in our sport now. So it works on both sides. And I agree. I support it completely.
I think it makes a lot of sense. In that, a problem shared is often a problem halved. And I think the awareness around people not being okay, I mean, sort of the issue is, as soon as there's awareness of something and it builds up into a lot of attention to it or exposure of that messaging, in this case mental health, then sort of it can turn into a little bit of a negative. What I mean is people get fed up quite quickly of perhaps listening about, seeing the phraseology mental health, and, someone saying my mental health's not in a good place and what have you. And it can actually sort of be slightly counterproductive, I think. So I think the phrase it's okay not to be okay is a little bit more relevant, really. We don't have to put a label on it.
It's perfect. So it is. It's yeah. I would definitely say in terms of male sport, you definitely see it. The messages came out a lot, maybe in the past, maybe 5 years. I think it's great to see these athletes, showing that they're like normal people, and they essentially are. They're just like us, and it's good to see, big figures that can come out and say, "Yeah, I'm struggling, but I don't know where it's going to go in the next maybe 5 years."
Yeah, I think that's really important, and it's important to keep pushing that message. Like I've struggled as anybody has, like with things at times, and I wouldn't say I'm one of the people who finds it very easy to talk about, to talk to other people when I'm not having a good day. And over the last certainly five years or so, I've definitely thought about things and realized some things where it is okay to not be okay, and it's much more acceptable to talk about things, and I think people need to realize that sometimes. And certainly I'll be one to push a message out there that there's always someone to talk to, and there's always there's everybody has a bad day no matter your situation, and it is okay not to be okay.